The first man who conquered death was erased from every record on Earth, as if the universe refused to remember him. Neon rain falls in vertical streaks against the obsidian glass of Varen Dynamics Tower. Inside, Dr. Elias Varen stands before a congregation of world leaders and digital prophets, his hand trembling over a holographic switch, pulsing with living light. The Immortalist engine hums, a cathedral of circuitry, breathing in synchronization with his heartbeat. Outside, thunder murmurs like divine disapproval. Mara's voice echoes in his memory. Elias, if we end death, what will make life sacred? He inhales, presses the switch, and for a heartbeat the world holds its breath. Then, a global flicker, a silence. Somewhere, unseen, a little girl vanishes from a photograph on her mother's wall. Applause roars, and Elias smiles. While the first soul is unmade, the applause in the chamber feels wrong. A hollow roar echoing through glass and steel. Elias forces a smile as reporters cry his name, their voices distorted by feedback and rain. Mara stands motionless, her gaze locked on him, her lips unmoving yet filled with unspoken accusation. You did it, someone whispers, but the words sound like a verdict, not praise. The lights flicker, screens around the room flash with the Immortalist symbol, and a faint tremor shudders beneath the floor. Elias's breath catches. He feels something slip from his chest, an invisible tug, a sudden emptiness that steals his pulse. For a fleeting instant, he senses her. Asha's laughter, distant, then gone. The triumph collapses into a silent terror he cannot name. Hours later, the tower's corridors stretch in silence. Elias walks alone, his footsteps echoing through the sterile halls lined with digital plaques, bearing the words, "Death, obsolete." He runs his fingers across the cold glass, feeling no pulse beneath. Every reflection of his face looks slightly wrong, a fraction delayed, as though the world itself lags behind him. He pauses at a lab window and sees Mara through it, sitting at her desk, head bowed over a digital tablet. She's replaying Asha's last message. The sound is gone. Only her lips move. Elias whispers to no one. She'll come back. She has to. But the screen shows static where a child's face should be. The silence becomes unbearable. That night, Mara confronts Elias in their apartment high above the city, a space once warm, now humming with the sterile glow of machines. "Do you feel it?" she asks quietly, her voice trembling. The world's gone off balance. Elias doesn't answer. His gaze is fixed on a family photograph framed on the wall. The three of them, himself, Mara, and Asha. But where Asha once stood, there's only an empty gap between them now, the photo perfectly printed, yet incomplete. "It's just data corruption," he whispers, though his voice quivers. Mara steps closer, her eyes fierce and wet. "No, Elias. It's not corruption. It's consequence." At dawn, the city awakens beneath bruised clouds. News feeds overflow with celebration. Humanity's triumph over mortality. Yet beneath the headlines, subtle absences ripple across the data streams. Forgotten names, vanished records, families missing one member they can't recall. Elias watches the footage from his tower office, the applause of the world drowning the quiet ache in his chest. He looks out over the horizon, skyscrapers shimmering like glass tombstones, and wonders how many souls have been unmade. A single drop of rain hits the window before him, and the reflection that meets his eyes is no longer his own. Elias Varen stares at the city below, his mind unraveling with each new report of glitches, families discovering empty chairs at breakfast, faces missing in photographs, whispers of loved ones no one remembers. At first, he calls it coincidence, then pattern, then nightmare. Mara Sarah's warnings echo in his head, sharper now. every choice has a price. You cannot outrun it. Panic claws at him as he checks the lab servers, every deletion timestamp matching the activation of Immortality. Then he sees her. Asha, his daughter, laughing in a video from hours ago, now replaced by static. The truth hits him like a hammer. Immortality is only possible because someone, somewhere, ceases to exist, and that someone is becoming his daughter. Desperation drives Elias through the city's rain-slick streets, each footstep echoing against empty alleys. He visits families affected by the vanished, seeing the subtle terror in their faces. Loved ones gone, unrecorded, as if they never existed. His heart sinks with every story, but the deepest fear resides in the absence of his daughter's laughter and his own memories. He clutches his chest, wishing time could rewind, but the machine's consequence cannot be undone. Mara follows silently, a hand on his shoulder, her presence a fragile tether to his rapidly fracturing reality. Back in the lab, Elias works frantically, scanning server backups and cross-referencing the vanishing incidents. His hands shake. The world outside hums obliviously with news of eternal life. It's all connected, he mutters, tracing lines of code that make his stomach twist. Each deletion confirms his worst fear. Asha's existence is fading from history. The finality of it terrifies him more than death ever could. He finally whispers aloud, almost begging the universe, "No, not her. Not my daughter." Mara watches, her eyes pleading, knowing the choice ahead will define him or destroy him. Mara confronts Elias as the sun rises over the distorted cityscape, shadows stretching unnaturally. "You have to stop it, Elias," she says, her voice trembling but resolute. "You can't play God with lives that aren't yours." Elias turns, haunted eyes meeting hers, torn between the brilliance of his creation and the terror it has unleashed. For the first time, he sees the true cost. Not wealth, not recognition, not immortality, but the slow erasure of the world he loves most. He knows, deep down, that the moment of choice is coming, and no machine, no code, can absolve him of it. Elias stands alone in the observation chamber as night falls, rain streaking down the glass like molten silver. The city pulses below, alive with celebration, oblivious to the voids he now notices. Streets where people should be, empty squares, digital billboards that momentarily glitch. His hands hover over the console, fingers trembling, yet he cannot bring himself to reverse the Immortality engine. Mara Sira's words haunt him. "Every life you take echoes forever." He closes his eyes and pictures Asha, her laughter, a fragile thread slipping through his fingers. For the first time, he admits the truth aloud. Immortality is murder. Lightning strikes the tower, reflecting in the glass as if the storm itself condemns him. And the hum of the engine grows louder, insistent, alive, demanding continuation. Orf. And Adiwai. Elias Varen stands in the sterile council chamber of Varen Dynamics, the Immortalist engine looming behind him like a living monument. Director Cale Rourke leans casually against a polished console, his frame radiating calculated authority, eyes cold and unyielding. "You see only the cost," Rourke says, voice smooth as mercury, "but I see the reward. Immortality changes everything. History, power, humanity itself. You could be remembered forever." Mara Sira grips Elias's arm, copper hair falling over her face, voice shaking with righteous fury. "At what price, Cale?" "She's fading, Elias. Our daughter, our world. People are vanishing. Silence stretches. Outside, the neon city hums, oblivious to the moral fracture unfolding above." Rourke steps closer, voice lowering to a dangerous whisper. Every experiment demands sacrifice, Elias. History has always required it. You hesitate because of one child, one fleeting memory, but consider what you gain. The power to redefine existence. Elias's chest tightens. He feels Mara's fingers trembling, urging him silently to resist. Outside, holographic billboards chant immortality achieved in looping scripts. The line between right and wrong fractures further. And for the first time, Elias questions whether morality can survive in a world where death has been outlawed. Elias turns to Mara, anguish etched across his face. I built it to save humanity, he whispers, voice cracking, not to destroy it. Mara grips his arms, eyes blazing. Then stop it, Elias, before it's too late, before more vanish. Rourke's laugh cuts the tension cold and hollow. Stop it, and admit weakness? Humanity will never forgive you for halting progress. The chamber vibrates faintly as the engine hums, a living pulse reminding them that the machine obeys only its programming, not conscience. Elias feels the tug in his soul again, the knowledge that his daughter's existence hangs by a thread, and that he must choose loyalty to ambition or fidelity to love. Rourke paces slowly, the echo of polished floors amplifying every step. You fear consequence, he says, but progress demands courage. Would you rather die remembering what's lost or live reshaping destiny? Elias's mind flashes with images of vanished lives, empty classrooms, missing children, the absence of Asha in family photos. He clenches his fists, knuckles cracking. Mara whispers, if you continue, you will be the author of erasure, Elias, not life. The engine thrums behind them as if responding to the moral turmoil. The choice looms. Sacrifice principle for power, or defy the world for the sake of what remains human. Elias retreats to the observation deck, overlooking the sprawling city, rain washing neon lights into streaks of color. I can't undo it, he murmurs to Mara, voice hollow. But I can choose what comes next. Mara rests a hand on his shoulder, silent support radiating through the storm. Below, humanity moves on, celebrating immortality, unaware of the erasures that make it possible. Elias feels the weight of his invention pressing on his soul. A moral calculus with no formula, only consequence. The first act of defiance must come from him alone. Elias Varon watches from his high-rise lab as the city begins to fracture. Holographic billboards flicker with static. Pedestrians freeze mid-step, some dissolving into invisible outlines, leaving empty spaces where they once stood. He grips the edge of the railing, heart pounding. Mara Sira's voice trembles in the room. This is what I warned you about. Immortality isn't just yours. It's rewriting existence itself. Elias swallows, eyes wide, realizing that entire memories, histories, entire neighborhoods are vanishing. The Immortalist engine hums, indifferent. A mechanical god consuming souls to sustain eternal life. He whispers, what have I done? Elias moves through the city, each block a surreal nightmare. Buildings appear, then vanish. Conversations abruptly stop mid-sentence. It's like the world is remembering incorrectly, he murmurs. Mara stays close, holding his arm, guiding him through gaps where reality has folded in on itself. Citizens stare blankly, unable to recognize missing friends or family. The cost of immortality becomes brutally tangible. Humanity persists, yet memory fails. Elias realizes the machine's promise has mutated into a global erasure, a slow death hidden within perpetual light. In a hospital, Elias witnesses the consequences up close. Patients vanish from beds mid-breath. Nurses freeze, memories of their charges evaporating from their minds. This isn't life, he whispers. gripping Mara's hand. It's an endless undoing. A child cries in the distance, then nothing. Even the sounds of the city warp, leaving a hollow, echoing silence. The moral weight of his creation presses down with crushing inevitability. Immortality has become a tool of erasure, not salvation. At night, Elias returns to the Immortalist engine, desperate to find a solution. He traces patterns in the fading data. Entire sectors of the city erased without warning. Proof that immortality requires systematic deletion. Mara Sira's voice is firm, almost pleading. You created this. You can stop it, or it will destroy everything we know. He watches the golden neural fluid pulse violently. The machine alive and relentless. The city outside seems to breathe with absence, a hollow lung where life and memory are mismatched. He knows the moment of reckoning is near, and the choice will demand sacrifice beyond imagination. Elias and Mara watch from the observation deck as entire city sectors blink out of existence, like faulty holograms. People vanish mid-step, their belongings remaining as eerie monuments. If this continues, Mara says, voice trembling, the world will forget itself completely. Elias feels the unbearable truth. Immortality cannot coexist with memory. Every life saved by the engine is balanced by another erased. The first act of destruction has given way to the systematic collapse of reality itself. And the cost has become personal. His daughter's existence fading like a shadow at dusk. Elias Varen stands alone before the Immortalist engine. Black coat damp, breath shallow, pulse racing. The golden neural fluid inside pulses like a living heart, reflecting in his wide, haunted eyes. Mara Sira steps forward, copper hair clinging to her damp face, voice trembling. Elias, you have to choose. Either end this now or the world and Asha are lost forever. He looks at the blinking city below. Entire neighborhoods disappearing mid-second, faces vanishing from screens and memories alike. His hands hover over the control panel, trembling. Every code line, every pulse, reminds him that immortality demands a price no mind should pay. He whispers, I can't save everyone. Mara grips his arm tightly, eyes pleading. Then save her. Save what matters most. Elias reviews the digital records. Each name erased a silent scream. He sees the pattern. The engine siphons life to sustain immortality, and Asha's existence hangs by the finest of threads. He realizes the impossible truth. To save her, he must dismantle his own creation. Mara whispers softly, it's not weakness to undo what's wrong. It's courage. Elias swallows, heart constricting. He touches Asha's name in the system, a single blinking cursor, his only lifeline. The room hums around him, the engine thrumming in protest, almost sentient. He closes his eyes, whispers, I choose her. The decision sparks golden light that floods the chamber, a silent storm of consequence and hope. As he initiates the reversal sequence, alarms echo through the chamber. Rourke's voice crackles over the intercom. Stop! You can't undo progress. Elias's hands fly across the controls, overriding security protocols. Mara stays close, grounding him as the engine vibrates violently. Streams of golden neural fluid twist and collapse, and holographic neighborhoods flicker back into existence. Faces, long erased, reappear on screens, in memories, in the city streets below. Elias feels a wrenching emptiness, but also relief. Asha's laughter returns in a faint echo through his mind. The weight of immortality lifts, leaving behind the fragile, fleeting beauty of mortality. Elias slumps against the console, trembling, eyes heavy, with the enormity of what he's done. Both undone and survived. Mara places a hand on his shoulder, whispering, "You saved her. You saved them." And maybe that's enough. Outside, the storm begins to subside. Neon reflections ripple across wet streets, now fully restored. But Elias knows the lesson endures. Immortality without conscience is destruction, and every choice carries irreversible weight. He gazes at Asha's restored laughter in a digital memory, a reminder of life's fleeting, precious fragility. The last moments of the reversal sequence hum through the chamber like a living heartbeat. Elias Varen, black coat, soaked and disheveled, leans over the console, eyes wide and haunted as the golden neural fluid finally slows, pulsing faintly in rhythm with the city below. Mara Sira, copper hair plastered to her face, grips his arm, her voice trembling. "It's done. She's safe." Elias exhales sharply, a mixture of relief and exhaustion, but the cost is it's etched into every line of his face. The guilt, the knowledge of every soul that briefly vanished for the illusion of immortality. Outside, the neon city flickers with restored life, yet a faint ripple distorts the edges of reality, a reminder that the balance of existence remains fragile. Elias whispers to himself, "Immortality was never living. It was forgetting." Mara leans into him, the storm finally subsiding, their world restored but forever altered. The chamber is alive with tension, metallic hums resonating like a heartbeat. Elias Varen stands before the Immortalist engine, fingers trembling on the controls. Director Cale Rourke strides forward, voice low and commanding. "You've undone my vision, Elias. Immortality is our legacy. Why throw it all away for sentiment?" Mara Sira places herself between them, eyes burning, because life without conscience isn't life at all. You destroy everything for power. The engine pulses violently, conduits twisting as though resisting. Elias closes his eyes, feeling every vanishing soul in the city, every erased memory, and knows the final act must cost him more than anyone else, himself. "Then let me pay," he whispers. The air vibrates as the engine awaits his choice. Rourke lunges toward Elias, trying to override the console. "Stop! You can't destroy it now." But Mara grabs his arm, holding him back. Elias's fingers fly over the holographic controls, initiating the final shutdown sequence. The engine screams, light flooding the room in blinding pulses of gold and violet. "I choose life for the world, not power for myself," Elias shouts over the roar. Sparks fly, metal groans, and a wave of energy washes through the chamber. The hum becomes a deafening crescendo as Elias braces himself, knowing he may never see the world he saved. As the shutdown completes, the engine collapses inward, golden fluid draining into the core. Elias feels a searing pain. The price of undoing immortality is his own consciousness. Mara screams, "No, Elias!" But he smiles faintly, whispering, "It's worth it. For them. For her." The city outside stabilizes, erased, neighborhoods reappear. Citizens blink, in confusion but alive. Rourke is thrown back, stunned, powerless. Elias's body slumps, lifeless on the console, yet a faint pulse lingers in the holographic projection of Asha restored. Mara clutches him, tears streaming. Immortality ends, but humanity breathes again. In the quiet aftermath, Mara cradles Elias in the calm glow of the chamber. The storm outside has passed. Neon lights ripple gently across wet streets, reflecting in puddles, now stable. She whispers softly, "You saved everything, Elias." Even her in the distance, Asha Varen laughs faintly, her presence subtle but undeniable in restored memory streams. The engine lies dormant, a monument to a choice that required ultimate sacrifice. Mara's tears glint in the golden light, mingling grief with relief. Elias's legacy is one of conscience, the cost of immortality paid in the most human of ways. The chamber falls into stillness, the hum of the Immortalist engine silenced at last. Mara Sierra kneels beside Elias Varen, his body limp but his final expression peaceful, a faint smile lingering on his lips. Outside, the city breathes again, neon reflections dancing across wet streets, now teeming with restored life. Mara's fingers brush Elias's hand, whispering, "You gave them everything, even yourself," in a quiet corner of the holographic memory streams. Asha Varen. 9. Giggles. Her presence restored, her laughter carrying through the crowd's stabilized world. Mara lifts her eyes, facing the glowing city, the weight of sacrifice settling over her. The cost was absolute, yet humanity survives, fragile, mortal, and profoundly human. In the silence, she realizes that immortality was never about eternal life, but the choices we make when time is fleeting. The city breathes again, but differently, fragile, fleeting, human. Elias Varen is gone, his body cradled in the quiet glow of the collapsed Immortalist engine. Mara Sierra walks among restored streets, rain-soaked and reflective, watching people embrace and recognize one another anew. Holographic screens show families reunited, laughter echoing where silence had threatened. She whispers to no one in particular. Immortality was never living, it was forgetting. Asha Varen skips along the pavement, her laughter ringing pure and unbroken. The world remembers itself again, and yet the memory of what was lost lingers like a shadow, a silent tribute to the cost of one man's moral courage. Mara finds herself at the top of Varen Dynamics Tower, gazing across a city that survived its near erasure. Her hand rests on the edge of the railing, catching droplets of rain, reflecting fleeting neon lights. The world is alive, mortal, and delicate. She thinks of Elias, of his sacrifice, and whispers, "We are alive because he remembered what mattered, because he chose love over power." Somewhere below, Asha's laughter carries across the wind, a fragile but enduring echo. Mara smiles, knowing that humanity's pulse beats once more, aware, awake, and irrevocably finite. Mara walks through the restored neighborhoods, each step a reminder of the impermanence of life. Conversations, laughter, and tears blend into a tapestry of memory and presence. She sees families embrace, friends reunited, and strangers noticing each other again. Each moment is a testament to the beauty of mortality. The choices, the love, the loss. She murmurs softly. Every life matters. Every memory counts. Immortality isn't living, it's forgetting the essence of being human. And for the first time, she allows herself a full exhale, carrying Elias's courage with her. A reminder that true legacy is measured in conscience, not endless years. Mara pauses at a quiet park, watching Asha play with other children. The wind carries the scent of rain and earth, grounding her in the ephemeral beauty of life. She whispers one final reflection. Eternal life would have stolen this. The laughter, the tears, the fleeting heartbeat of being human. Elias gave us back the world, but reminded us that mortality is the gift, not the curse. She smiles, eyes tracing the horizon as neon city lights fade gently into the dawn. The world continues, alive and mortal, and the echo of sacrifice lingers haunting and beautiful. Mara sits on a damp park bench as the first rays of sunrise touch the city. The streets hum quietly, alive with restored life. She watches Asha chase puddles, laughing, the sound pure and untainted by absence. Mara's gaze drifts upward, tracing the outline of Varen Dynamics Tower. Its dark silhouette, a reminder of sacrifice and conscience. She whispers to herself, voice steady now. We live because someone chose love over power. Every moment matters, because life is finite, fragile, and real. In the soft glow of morning, she finally feels the weight of grief lift, replaced by awe at the delicate, enduring beauty of being human.